Hello there. I hope you are all having a good morning or afternoon, depending on the time you're watching this. We are going to get started with our next unit on talking about housing and where people live and thinking about where you might want to live after you are done with Pathways. A lot of you right now live with your parents. We have talked about this before, how there are other options. You might live in shared living, you might live in adult residential, you might live, with roommates or other family members. You might stay at home, and some of you might end up living by yourselves. So there are lots of different options, and we're just going to go over this story today, talking about some of the vocab words and what our friend here in this story is going to do in her big move. So some words we are going to learn in the story is care center, which is a place to live where there are individual rooms and nursing care is provided. So if you need a nurse sometimes for medicine, maybe you have a G-tube, maybe you have a seizure medicine that is an emergency seizure med, just in case you are to have a seizure, you would want somebody there to be able to administer it to you. Maybe you need help with feeding or that type of thing, or you have a bolus feed. So that a care center is a place where you have individual rooms. You don't have to share a room, but then there's also nursing care provided. So that's a great benefit. Support staff is another one. Support staff are people who are paid help others in need. So they get to help you and they get paid for it, which is pretty cool. Home health aide is a person who helps someone at home with tasks like bathing, dressing, housekeeping, or staying organized. So if you are living at home, these people come into your home and they help you to take a bath or a shower if you need extra help there. Or they might help you put on your clothes for the day or get you into your pajamas at night. They might help you with some of your cleaning tasks around the house and staying organized. But they help you at home. They aid you at home with some of your health needs, so your hygiene and keeping you safe and healthy. Things we want to learn from this story is moving into your own place takes time, but it also takes a lot of planning. And you might need support staff to help you care for yourself with when and if, or if and when you live alone. And you might not live alone, and you might still need some support staff. You might need support staff if you are living in a residential house. You might want someone there all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's another great option to have. So we will continue on with our story, get started. And our friend here, her name is Katie. So if we just look at this picture, we see Katie's in front of this building, and it looks like she has a wheelchair. So she's sitting in a wheelchair. She has her safety guards on, so she is kept safe. And what do you think? Do you think Katie looks happy there? Let's find out. Let's start reading. Katie lives in a care center. Katie needs help every day. At the care center, nurses and aides can help take care of her. They help her take a shower, they help her get dressed, and they help feed Katie. So we talked about the care center. There are nurse aides around at all times, and you have your own room. At the care center, Katie has a roommate. So she has an individual room, but she gets to share it with someone. So it's like they probably have 2 beds in the same room, so she always has a buddy with her. Her roommate needs help every day too. Katie and her roommate eat in a big dining room. It's like a cafeteria. How fun. Katie likes the people here. They are nice to her. The care center is her home. So not everyone has their own room, but they have individual rooms, which means they're not in a big, like you're not all sleeping in a cafeteria. You all have your own bed, but you might share a space with one other person, or you might get your own space. Katie has a dream though. She wants to live in her own house. A house for Katie will cost money. A house for Katie will take time to find, and a house for Katie will need a support staff to help care for her needs. How many of you would like to live in your own house someday? I would like to live in my own house, but I also understand that it is a lot of work for one person. And if I want to feel safe, then I might need somebody else to live there with me. And if I want help doing yard work and shoveling snow and taking care of things when they're broken, then I probably want to live somewhere else for the meantime. So one day, Katie's parents ask her if she wants to live in her own house. Katie smiles. She is very excited. Katie's parents and support staff find a house. Katie's dream will come true. And how does she look in this photo now? We notice that her face is smiling. Her mouth is smiling. Her eyes are smiling. She looks pretty happy. Katie's house needs changes though. The house needs a wheelchair ramp and that costs money. The house needs a roll-in shower. That costs money. The house needs a home health aide to help care for Katie. That costs money. When the house is ready, Katie moves in. Katie's dream is coming true. And remember, because Katie's dream is coming true, doesn't mean it's the best option for everyone. It's still very expensive and you need a lot of money to be able to do this. And sometimes it's just better to have people around you all the time. Katie has her own bedroom. Now Katie can make her room her own. She picks a paint color for her room and a comforter for her bed. She picks pictures for the walls. Katie's dream is coming true. Have you ever decorated or chosen something to put in your room at home? You might put a picture that you drew that you really like. You might have a picture of you and a friend or you and a family member in a frame. You might have decided that you really like a certain color. So maybe your family or friends have gotten you gifts of pillows or blankets and that type of thing to decorate your room with. So Katie looks pretty happy there. Katie was happy at the care center too though, and she's even happier now in her own home. She can help her home health aide cook and clean, but moving takes time and planning. Moving is hard work, but Katie loves her new home. Her dream came true. So here is a tip that it is never too early to think about where to live. It takes a long time and it takes money. And some of us might need a little bit more help than others when it comes to living in a place. Like I couldn't probably live in my own house right now. I would either want a roommate to help me or a couple other people, a couple friends to live there with me, so we would share the responsibilities together. Or I would have to pay money to hire people to come and do these things. So it's kind of a balance on deciding if you want to live in a building and you're able to live in a building with other people. So right now I live in an apartment building, which means I have my own individual space, but then there's somebody next door to me, they also do. And we all come in through the same door, and but we don't have to take care of yard work, and we don't have to take care of the snow when it snows. And if something is broken, I can just call my landlord and they can come fix it. And so for me, that is the best option right now, as much as I would like to live somewhere else. And it might be similar for you. You might really want to live in your own space, but that takes a lot of planning and a lot of time and a lot of money sometimes. So I don't want to discourage you. I just want you to think about these things, that sometimes it's okay to work toward these things. And it looked like it happened fast for Katie, but that is also a story that we're reading. So another tip that this story has is to talk with your transition team about your dreams, so we can help take those steps to make them come true and hopefully get you closer to where you want to be. So we're looking at this story again. Katie's in front of her house now. Remember at the beginning of the story, she was in front of a care center and she really wanted to live in her own house, and her parents offered that to her. So her parents are helping her. It doesn't say anything about her going to work and having a job, but she lives in a care center and she's going to need some people to help her with her showers, getting dressed, and with her meals. So that is something to think about. Tomorrow we will read the story again and do some questions. And that is all for today. So I hope you all have a really great day. And I want you to think about where you would like to live someday. Are you happy where you are right now, or would you want to be somewhere else? All right, we'll see ya.